Quote, Barbarianism is the natural state of mankind. Civilization is unnatural. It is the whim of circumstance, and barbarianism must ultimately triumph. Unquote. Robert E. Howard. Barbarianism. This word brings several images to mind. Perhaps you imagine a grizzled, hunched-over man with scraggly teeth who grunts and shakes a stick in the air. Or maybe you picture the more refined Attila the Hun, who has numerous animal skins draped over the length of his back and steely, intelligent eyes. Both of these examples are from hundreds, if not thousands, of years ago, very far from our own very modern backyard. However, barbarianism still manages to present itself in modern America, however, in different ways. Barbarianism no longer means that leadership must be attained by a feat of physical prowess. It would be shocking to see two politicians engaged in a fight of bloody knuckles over who is the winner of an election. But barbarianism shows itself in other ways. This philosophy could be summed up by the maxim, might is right. It champions that morals, values, and truth are non-existent, and whatever could be interpreted as such are merely certain rules which those in authority have put in place which are beneficial to themselves. Power and rank are the only supposed real indicators of substance which take it upon themselves to determine right from wrong. However, this sadistic and power-hungry existence is surely not what God had intended for his children. He designed mankind to live civilly with one another in a society where there is an undisputed and true leader. Barbarianism was advocated by two very different philosophers from two very different time frames. The first was Thrasymachus, and the second was Nietzsche. Thrasymachus advocated that ethics were mere matters of perception, and moral rules exist because systems and traditions formed them from a place of power. Nietzsche agreed, but took this belief to a more complex standing, and differentiated society into either herd morality or master morality. He depicted those of the herd morality as weak and dependent on their morals to cover themselves, and they hid behind their morals. R.C. Sproul illuminated in his work the consequences of ideas that, quote, those who embrace herd morality are like cattle or mindless sheep, seeking security in the herd or flock. This morality is rooted in and driven by fear, unquote. Sproul, 164. Master morality, on the other hand, is one of barbarianism, which views all common weaknesses as evil. Master morality is distinct and separate, and does not depend on the group to define itself or give approval. It constantly tests manhood and strength, pushing the idea that physical prowess is the greatest moral over all. And all other moralities are mere paradigms and illusions which have been propagated from those strong enough to hold the power to do so. This, to a point, is true. But if it is so, why do all civilizations boil down to the same basic morals? Obey those in power. Respect those who are close to you, and don't show cruelty for no reason, etc. A cheap explanation would simply be that all people are human, and somehow have an instinct to fear punishment from doing something which is intrusive to others or neglecting of a certain duty. This, to a point, is true, but it neglects to state that none of this would be possible, none of the punishments or guidance would be possible if there were not some form of leadership involved. God knew this, which is why he gave the Israelites, when they were wandering in the desert, Moses to guide and punish them. There must be some sort of boundary, and there must also be an indisputable leader who is respected and deeply cares about the people. Otherwise, a society will collapse and crumble in on itself. Imagine, if you will, a society where barbarianism is the only law, where every day the leader is challenged, sometimes even multiple times a day, and the citizens stare at him through the corner of their eyes, waiting for some sort of opening, weakness, or chink in his armor. Everything's a free-for-all. There is no point in working together, as nobody would ensure equal parts. Barbarianism is, in a sense, almost an antithesis of socialism. In barbarianism, the strongest are rewarded, whether that be with money, power, or rank. In socialism, everything is unflinchingly equal. There's no motivation to get stronger or better, as the incompetent and the accomplished are both rewarded the same. Revisiting our imagined society, where the leader is challenged and power belongs to the strongest, will it last? And if it did last, would the resulting society be worth anything? Will this sort of society grow or diminish? In truth, a society where barbarianism is even remotely tolerated can hardly be considered a society at all. It'd be impossible for any real progress, as it only tears away from what is already there. That when a barbarian community, the number of individuals would be continuously diminished, hardly ever growing. If it was implemented in a society that was already in place, the same would be true, even if the society was already firmly developed. Those higher up would begin to view leadership as a prize, and not a responsibility, and see any of their opponents as enemies. Leaders would become corrupt and have a target on their back for everyone attempting to win their title. Any group or organization that hopes to survive must have an utterly undisputed leader. This is God's design, as he knows that human beings will be corrupted and destroy themselves without the influence of true authority. Thank you.